everyone. Welcome back to the THERAFIRE Podcast. My name is Camille.
And I'm Daryl. We are a Pinoy physical therapist duo living somewhat unconventional but intentional lives. We aim to achieve financial independence in a few years, but we make our journey fun so we don't go crazy.
In this podcast, we want to learn how Filipinos all over the world in different industries and walk of life earn, spend, save, and invest money to achieve financial independence. Today, we are going to chat with Mr. Jaime Silvera on his journey towards financial independence.
Good evening, Jen Sayo Jaime. How are you doing?
Good morning.
Ah, good.
Good morning to you, Daryl and Camille. Thanks for inviting me to the THERAFIRE podcast. Very honored to be here.
Oh, thank you so much for accepting our invitation.
Sobrang thank you.
So, can you introduce yourself the way you want to be introduced and you want others to know who you are?
Sure. So my name is Jaime Zulueta. I'm Filipino in my mid-30s, just like everyone else, trying to achieve financial independence or at least try to live a good life. I currently work in the banking and finance industry here in the Philippines. I'm also a career coach on the side. Nice to meet everyone. Hope you like the podcast.
So, what does financial independence mean to you, and how did the financial independence mindset enter your radar first?
That's a very good question, Daryl, and it's very important because financial independence is a very personal journey and it means different things to different people. For me, I wouldn't define financial independence as being able to quit your job or live on interest alone. I'm not a believer of that. I do believe in at least finding something to work on for the rest of your life. It can be something you love or it be something that you enjoy. Um, doesn't have to earn you a lot of money, but at least helps settle the bill, right?
That's
Financial independence for me is having enough financial security in your back pocket, the emergency funds, enough investments, insurance to keep you and your family up and running, and as well as support your lifestyle where you can do or choose to do what you love.
that's a very good definition. Actually, that's how we look at FI as well. It's a personal journey, and it's not really about like what you said, quitting work, but finding that the option, the freedom
Mm-hmm.
to do the things that you love. And yeah, that's a very good definition. So, how did the mindset first came to you? Did you search for it, or you just encountered it in books or
Mm,
in podcasts?
Again, another very good question, and I think the earlier you discover it, the better, right? Those of us who discovered it early in our 20s or even earlier would greatly benefit from it. In my case, um, I learned about fire during the pandemic, so around 2020. I
Okay.
read a book. Um, Trying to remember who's the author, but the name of the book is "I Will Teach You to Be Rich."
Oh, that's Ramit Sethi's book.
Ramit Sethi's book. Yes. So I encountered the term fire there. Formally, that's where I first encountered it. But I think a few months prior to that, I was already reading online. I think a lot of people's financial journeys began in the pandemic of
Mhm.
2020.
That is
I
true.
began, yeah, I think for you as well, right? I listened to
Yeah.
one of
Yes.
your podcasts. Um, yeah, so I encountered it online a few months before that. And then when I finally read his book in December 2020, that's when I formally encountered the term fire.
I see. Okay.
So,
And then, of course, I further educated myself with the likes of Mr. Money Mustache, right?
big
So,
act.
yeah. Although he's pretty hardcore, I would say. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
not it's not for everyone the kind of life he's
Mhm.
preaching.
Mhm.
But those are some of the influences that we have in our fire community.
That's actually what's good with different financial independence contents. You don't have to be the one that you're reading. You don't have to follow what they're telling you. In your case, you actually read
Extremes,
two
yeah.
extreme, two financial experts that are kind of extreme. The financial independence community is like saying that they're the opposite of each other, but they all are aiming for the same thing. So
Mhm.
we can choose what works for our lifestyle, and that's what you did.
So Jaime, after reading all of this, after consuming all of this information, what made you decided to really start your journey? Is there any event or things in your life that like, okay, this is the time that I really need to start?
I wouldn't say that's when I really started because I kind of lived a simple life,
Mm.
right? So even before I encountered that term, I didn't really spend much. Just tried to invest as much as my money or savings to make it grow because I realized really in life that maybe I'm not a business person. I'm not an entrepreneur. So I won't be generating massive amounts of wealth in my lifetime, or I don't have that. I might not have that capability. So for me, it's I I have I subscribe to the path of most people in the world, where we work a 9 to 5 job, or we get second job, a side hustle to help increase our income, and the way to really grow it is through investment. So when I was young, in
Mhm.
high school, college, I understood that already, and when I got into the working field, I think reality kind of set in even more that it's not going to be easy, right?
Mhm.
Right.
Especially here in the Philippines, I mean, we don't even earn as much as people around the world. So early on in life, I was already saving and investing, and then when I encountered the term FIRE, I think the lifestyle just kind of appealed to me because it's preaching a simple lifestyle, right? But what I learned from FIRE was the formalities of computing your FIRE number,
I
Yeah.
see.
different investments where you can get those passive returns, which are enough to sustain your livelihood.
Yeah. So what's good about the fire is, as you said, there's a structure. You can see something tangible that you can look at, so that you
Mm-hmm.
can measure how you're doing in your
Mhm.
journey. So that's what we like about it too.
Kasi sometimes you just keep on, even matipid, like with us, we just keep on saving, saving. But like before really starting fire, we just do okay, save, and then what will happen next? Okay, we're just saving for the next,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
and then after that, okay, we have the money again. Continue saving, and then there's another purchase. I guess with fire, binigyan niya lang tayo na okay, this could be an end goal for us.
That's true.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's the nice thing about FIRE. It gives you a structure and a system which you can follow and which you can personalize to your needs and your goals, right?
Mhm. So Jaime, we also have seen in your posts, in some of your posts, na you're coaching other people as they enter the workforce. So how do you suggest them about choosing their careers?
Hmm. About choosing your careers. So there's a side to it, right? There's a side to us that's practical, where we need to meet the bills. We need to reach FIRE. There's
Yeah.
also the side to it where you only live once. So if you want to make an impact in the world, or if you want to do something that you really love, then you only have limited time to do it really. So career coaching is not a singular path, right?
Mhm.
You don't preach a singular path where you must choose this career, suit this goal. So it really depends on your goal as a person in life, and what you want to achieve. If you want to build wealth, no matter what, while doing it in your career,
Mhm.
regardless of whether you like what you're doing or not, then that's up to you. And I help professionals achieve that if that's what they really want in life. On the other hand, there are professionals who they don't really care if they don't make it to vice president or they don't have a big business. But what's important to them is they're able to take care of their family, they're able to spend time with their loved ones. And that's what I help them achieve.
I see.
So with your clients, I guess parang sa patients natin, when we go to see them, we assess them first and see how their physical health is, what's their problems, and
Mhm.
we'll ask their goals, ano ba ang ating diskarte sa ano mo gusto natin ma-achieve in life, tas we set short and long-term goals. Ganun din ba yung ginagawa mo with your clients, Jaime?
Yes, because it's a career coaching service. So
Mhm.
coaching is different from consulting and mentoring, right?
Mhm.
Mentoring is, I'm an experienced person. This is what I did previously. This is what we can do. That's mentoring. Consulting is, I meet you, I understand you have a problem, and I give you or I propose a solution to you. Coaching is, we meet, we look at your issues, try to see where you are in life, and then I help you find out what you want to do. So
Mhm.
it's when coaching, it's not the coach who makes the decision, but we just empower our client and student to discover for themselves or choose for themselves what they want.
Okay, so you ask
That, yeah,
the questions that will take them to the answers that they
Yeah.
want.
that's correct.
Lahat. So,
Oh, okay. So we actually didn't know the difference between
Actually,
all those.
Yeah.
honestly, I thought it's all the same.
Yeah, we thought it's synonymous, but it's not. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's really an
Yeah,
enlightening.
I think most people think it's synonymous, but for example, if you take international coaching certification, which I'm not, by the way, but I subscribe to some of their values. You'll see there that that's one of the standards where you're not supposed to be proposing solutions to your client.
Okay.
So
So,
coaching is coaching, mentoring is mentoring, consulting is consulting.
so what made you go into to coaching?
I really love coaching people early in my career. So, when I had direct reports, I would help them, coach them, to discover what they want in their careers and their lives. And during the pandemic, I wanted to help Filipinos. There are a lot of Filipinos who are suffering in the job market. We're hitting record high unemployment rates for past couple of years, right?
Yes.
So I just wanted to make a difference and impact on the world. So I began offering my services for free on LinkedIn. I would just talk about my career experiences to try to teach people, and then I would invite people for a chat. So no payments whatsoever. Just invite them over. They
Mhm.
needed help. I would help them, and it started from there. And then I kind of grew a following. Um, so yeah, so eventually people became a paid service. People started coming in, and that was it really.
Mhm.
That's a good way to start. You just, simply help other people. And then I guess after that, word of mouth na lang. And
Mhm.
hey, Jaime help me. Maybe he can help you too.
Yeah, you must have
Yeah.
really helped them so
Oo.
much that
They endorse
yeah,
you. Yeah.
that you grew a following enough to make a business out of it, which is really good.
Mhm.
So how do this how usually do people approach you? What are the problems that they have
Mhm.
when they approach you for
Mm.
coaching?
Well, right now it's mostly run through LinkedIn. So they'll add me or connect with me on LinkedIn, and they'll send me a message that, "Hi Jaime, I've been reading your post. Uh, I noticed that you're a career coach and like to inquire more about the service." Just like that. No. Now, when it comes to what kind of problems they approach me with, iba-iba.
Mm.
Um, I cater to a range of professionals, so mostly Filipinos
Mhm.
who are in their early 20s or just about to start work or have started work towards mid professionals around mid 30s. So of course the different age ranges have different issues, right? So when you're younger, perhaps you want to discover what's for me. How do I discover what's for me? What's the career for me? As you get older, some of them are more, is this the right career for me? Or how do I advance in my career?
Stages of life, different questions.
Yes, with different problems. So I'm surprised that that the people. So you've been seeing that there are people who have been working in their jobs for years, and they start questioning if their job is good for them. Is that how it goes
Is
with
it like
older clients?
yeah? Is it like always a battle between money and passion, or should I need to keep on doing this work because I need to pay my bills? Pero I have other parang ano naman
I
yung
want to
gusto
do this.
ko.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Napapansin.
wouldn't say it's that. Most of the professionals that I've met in my, I've who I've met in their mid career, right?
Okay.
I don't think they have the struggle between paying the bills and the job or
Mhm.
doing what they love. It's more of maybe they have some money already, some uh, financial backing, but they're starting to consider is it time to make a change or what? So it's like a discover because I think most Filipinos, when we're young, we're not really taught to do what we love, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty traditional, still pretty traditional here, where just get good grades, please get good grades in school, and then get a good job after it. That's it. Right? That's what our parents subscribed to. It's of course different now, but that was the thinking before.
Mhm.
But because things are different now, then maybe we entered the corporate or the career, our careers that way, where we entered it just trying to build some net worth, not really think about what we love to do or what we wanted to do. Then later on in life, we kind of question, okay, what can I do now? Because different generations have different value sets, right?
That's true. So we've also seen in some of your posts that it seems like you're dissecting or looking at our 9 to 5 work lives or our jobs and the paycheck to paycheck mentality or culture that not just Filipinos have, but people all around the world.
Yes.
How important is it for people to have various income streams, and how do you suggest people find one?
Um, I mean, the various income streams kind of come naturally, right?
Okay.
If you practice a healthy financial lifestyle, so it starts, and if you're in the 9 to 5 like me, like most people in the world, the first income stream comes from your job,
Mhm.
right? And then as you diversify your assets into savings and investments, the different income streams naturally come into place. So let's say you uh, put your money in the pag-ibig MP2, which is what a lot of Filipinos do hire.
Okay.
So that's naturally a second income source because it gives you dividend or interest income annually or every 5 years, whichever you choose. And then some people will go into the stock market. So naturally, that's capital appreciation plus dividend income. Yeah, so that's another income source. Then some people will take up a side hustle. That's now your fourth income source. And again, if you practice the sound financial habits where you should not just depend on one job, then that side hustle income source just naturally falls into place.
Yeah, it's surprising to realize na you're right. When you have a job, suddenly your paycheck can open up different income streams because you're able to invest it so that your money can make some money for you in the future.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
guess people naman they just simply stick to their 9 to 5 job.
And
Once
spend
they
everything.
and spend everything. So it's nice that there are people like Jaime trying to teach this these things na para ma-open up din sila sa, hey, you can also do this aside from just working your 9 to 5.
Yeah, that money is not just for spending, but it's also for making more money.
Yeah. You make your money work for you, right?
That's right. Yeah,
Correct.
that's good. So in saving for investing, can you tell us something about? We saw, I think it's a video or a post that you did about the 70-30 principle. Can you tell us something about that?
Ah, in FIRE, I mean, when you look at financial advice, the thing that they typically tell you is 70-20-10, right? We have those ratios. 70% of your income goes to expenses, 20% savings, 10% donation.
Okay.
Or you have your 50-30-20. I mean, different ratios, right? From different financial gurus out there. But on the FIRE side of things, where people focus on reducing expenses, maximizing your savings so that you have more investments, we preach kind of the opposite of that.
That's true.
Where you spend less and you can save and invest more. So that's what I practice. So 30% of my income goes to my expenses, bills. The remaining 70% goes to savings and investment.
So that's a complete 360 of the typical financial advice that you'll be okay if you just save 20% of what you just spend everything else. So yeah, that actually turn it around on its head. What things do you do in your life to make this possible? Because some people might think na there's so many bills to pay.
That's true. That's true.
How do I do what you're saying?
Um, yeah, I believe it boils down to your lifestyle and your expenses, right?
Mm-hmm.
For one, no, I'm to fully disclosed. I am a kind of a high income earner here in the Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
So it's even with a bigger lifestyle, it's easy for me to save 70%. But when I was younger and not earning as much, I was trying to maximize whatever I can in terms of saving. Right? So I didn't go out much when I was young. Wouldn't go to restaurants. Uh, I I would take public transportation, and I continue to take public transportation. So keeping a low lifestyle, even as your income grows, will help you save more. Because I think people are victim to lifestyle inflation. Right? I'm earning more, therefore I can spend more. Or I'm earning more, I deserve to spend more. But I've generally kept a low maintenance lifestyle, and I spend more now, of course, because I used to live at home. Now I live on my own.
Of course.
But in terms of um, the basic things like shopping for clothes, designer items, new gadgets, I don't do any of those, even if I earn much more now compared to when I first started. I still don't have a car, so I don't pay any maintenance fees, gas fees, for the parking slot. Um,
So I guess kahit lumaki yung sweldo niya ngayon, he still continues to live a simple lifestyle.
Yes,
Like what he
yeah.
told
Yeah.
us.
So the key there is to just live the way you're living before, even if you had a smaller paycheck. Don't let the paycheck affect your happiness. Yeah.
That's correct.
Okay. So that's where the 70% savings came from, because hindi mo
That's where it came from. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it didn't come from me like finding another side hustle or a new job, right? It's just I've really been just dependent on on a single income source, which is employment, and then maximizing whatever I get from my employment, putting it into savings and investment.
Yeah, that is a good hack, because you were happy before.
Why change?
Yeah. Why more money? Why would more money change that? Yeah.
Saka I guess, minsan din pagka nagpo-focus ka lang sa isang bagay, let's say with him, he doesn't go to other investments, let's say other income streams at the moment. I'm not that sure though kasi nagko-coach na siya ngayon. Pero dun sa job niya, I guess kaya mas lumaki yung sweldo niya kasi mas ginalingan niya dun. Kasi minsan pag nakafocus ka lang sa isang bagay, mas nag-excel ka. Para wala masyadong distractions. Iba sabi nga na pag nag-multitask ka, hindi ko lang ka talaga natatapos doon.
Divided yung attention mo.
Divided yung
Yeah.
So, since gumaling siya doon, tumaas yung sweldo niya, same pa rin yung lifestyle, win-win, di ba?
That's where the 70 came from.
Yeah, good way. Pero kasi like with us din naman, even, kasi usually kasi dito, Jaime, when people moves to the States or sa ibang country, siyempre, like with us, in all honesty, when we were working there in the Philippines, napakababa ng sweldo ng PT.
Like 30 times.
Napakababa. Minsan volunteer pa.
Minsan free.
Minsan free pa for a year. Tapos pagod na pagod ka. Siyempre, nung nag-move kami dito sa States, parang, I have this money. I can buy whatever I want.
I can go wherever
Yeah, I deserve it. Pero, nung una siguro,
naging victim din kami
din tayo
doon.
doon. But then we realized we're not really, this is not really bringing us joy. Mas nag-enjoy kami sa simple life, ganyan. Even with our house, pinarentahan nga namin yung ibang kwarto. Kasi like, nung nasa Pilipinas naman kami, naka-dorm lang kami. So,
sa maliit na space.
Maliit lang. Okay na yun.
Yeah. We kind of practice what you've been practicing since you started working you started your working career. But we just practiced it a couple of years ago. But yeah, we just live the way we lived before and just save the rest. That's a good advice.
When did you move to the US, if I may ask?
I started working here in 2015. Yeah. So kung kaya minsan nanghihinayang ako sana nakakilala na ako ng mga katulad mo, Jaime, na early pa lang. Doon din ako nanghihinayang dahil early ko pa lang nalaman. So baka by this time I'm financially independent.
Yeah. Actually, meron siyang ginawa before na nag-aral siya mag-dance ng ballroom, ganyan, tapos nagko-compete pa. Naku, yung ginastos niyan, pwede na makapagpaaral ng. Sabi ko, mas mahal pa yung binallroom mo sa doctorate ko. Sabi ko, ano ba naman yan?
I learned something out of it. It's a great experience. Pero sana, kung alam ko yung fire movement, kung nakakausap ako ng mga katulad mo, baka mas meron akong plan, may structure, kagaya nga ng sinabi mo kanina, na naglaan ako ng budget ko or ng money ko para doon, and I didn't overspend. I should have prioritized, I guess, my financial independence and retirement, but that's not within my radar because I was like every young people who started working here, just earn money and then find ways to spend it.
Pero okay lang naman. You enjoyed it, you tried it, diba? Ngayon, it's never too late to start naman eh. To all other people na nakikinig, siguro nasa 40s na kayo, late 30s, or kung anong age nyo man ngayon, never too late to start naman eh. Wag yun kung ginawa nyo na yun before, okay na yun, okay lang.
Don't beat yourself up.
I believe in that as well. It's never too late to start.
Have you encountered the people who thought that they're in the middle of their careers, maybe I should just do this, even if it doesn't make me happy, it's paying the bills, I'm miserable, but should I still do this?
I don't think I've encountered anyone like that, but interestingly, when I first started career coaching in 2020, so this was the height of the pandemic here. I took a few calls. So I took a couple of calls, and one of them was from a C-suite level of a multinational.
Okay.
So interestingly, he's in his, I think, probably his 50s already, and you'd think by the time, look, he's a C-level, he's probably had it he has the wealth, etc.
Mm-hmm.
But when he was talking to me, he was very frantic and stressed out because he had been laid off, right? And he was worried about supporting his lifestyle at that time. He was telling me about this big apartment, having his drivers and everything. So I think that's an interesting case where I haven't really met professionals who are choosing to stay on the job or what, but I have met professionals who, despite having worked all these years, having achieved such a high level of their career and a high income level to boot, they still worry about money because maybe they're living pretty big lives and they're afraid that without their employment or without that income coming in, then they will be unable to sustain.
It's kind of the same struggle as because they're both relying on their job, as with my question. So yeah, that's actually quite surprising. That calls your attention that if you're looking at someone who has been working in a job for years and in this high level position, they should have just made it.
Yeah, they should have
Yeah.
figured out how life should be. Parang, when I was young, I used to think na, okay, pagka 30 years old na, you already know what to do in life. Magaling ka na sa job mo.
Yeah.
Parang okay na yung family mo and all. Pero hindi eh. Every day is a learning experience. So I guess siguro sa kanya, tinuloy-tuloy niya lang. Nandyan lang naman kasi lagi yung pera and he's maybe good with his job.
Mhm.
Tapos, ano lang,
The pandemic happened and
acquire lang ng acquire. And siguro, we actually need some time to stop minsan eh, and reevaluate our lives. Kasi parang, yung bang life natin ngayon, kasi minsan pag trabaho ka ng trabaho, pagod ka na afterwards, you don't really have the chance to breathe and to think that, hey, am I happy now or ano? So maganda at least may time pa for him to think about what he really wants to achieve in
that's
life.
right, yeah.
Kasi,
Even if he's in his 50s or in his 40s, yeah.
Yeah.
Takot, no? I hope, ano. Pero alam mo, Jaime, with our patients, we see that too eh. Kasi we actually have a chance to see what could happen with our lives if we do this decision at this moment. Kasi, okay, pag ganito yung ginawa ko ngayon sa life ko, that could be my future. Pwede akong may bahay sa may dagat, di ba? Or pwede penthouse ako. Or pwedeng para akong homeless.
Yeah. I struggle just to pay the bills. Yeah.
So, actually, ang ginagawa namin sa patients namin, if nakikita namin na sobrang ganda ng life nila, parang, ano bang ginawa? Actually, I have this one patient, remember I told you, nasa penthouse sila nakatira. Tapos, I asked them actually what they did when they were younger to have this life, to buy this house. Kasi talagang nasa downtown, tas kitang-kita mo talaga yung buong St. Pete. Ang ganda-ganda ng house nila. Alam mo, ano lang sila? Tipid. Sobrang tipid nila. Sobrang kuripot
ang
nila.
equivalent sa Philippines is okay lang sila bumibili.
Oo, never sila bumili
okay.
ng damit. Yung mga friends nila, laging designer clothes. Sila, laging sa thrift store. Tapos, sa mga furnitures nila, never silang bumili ng something new. They always go to garage sales. Minsan, parang yung ginagawa namin, namumulot lang kami. Kasi dito sa States, pagka medyo ayaw na nila ng stuff,
Pag may konting gas,
or may bago sila, itatapon nila sa labas. So minsan, kami, yung mga books namin, ganyan, pulot lang.
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Oo, yung tapos ganun din yung ginagawa niya. Actually, sa sobrang pagtitipid niya, hanggang ngayon, gusto nila i-renovate yung kitchen nila. Kaya ako actually siya naging pasyente kasi kakalagay nga ng tiles dun sa kitchen niya, sumakit yung shoulder niya. So parang kasi iniisip niya, magkano ba ibabayad ko dito? Kaya ko naman gawin. Mahilig naman sila mag-artsy-artsy naman sila. So nakakatuwa lang na ang yaman na nila, pero hanggang ngayon, hindi nila binabago yung lifestyle nila.
So ngayon, silang funds to help themselves and to help their family as well.
Oo, yung sa sobrang dami ng pera nila ngayon, lagi na lang sila bahala lagi sa trip ng buong pamilya.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Tapos nakakatuwa din sa kanila is they were able to teach their kids how to do the same.
Mhm.
Kasi hindi ba naging dependent yung kids nila sa kanila.
Sa kids nila.
Oo. Like, mom, dad, you can just spend your money. You don't have to give us any inheritance. Parang we're okay. Pero sila parang natitipid pa rin. Tapos alam mo yung shoes nila na ukay-ukay. Sumasakit na yung paa niya sa paglalakad. Pero gumagana naman daw. Okay lang. Sabi ko, ay, baka mas mahirapan tayo in the long run. So siguro medyo yung pagtitipid din.
Yeah, I kind of relate to that, no? Even the shoes I wear it until it has a hole. The bottom. So kapag may butas na, that's when I go to the store time to get it.
That's what I actually do in the Philippines too. Laging pupunta ako sa Mr. Quickie para ipatay yung mga rubber shoes ko. Parang minsan nakikita ako nung nagtatrabaho doon, parang nakakailang tahi na tayo dito. Pwede mong bumili ka na.
Like hindi, ang tanong ko sa inyo, hindi nyo ba na-feel na parang, yeah, ang galing ko kasi nasira ko yung sapatos, nagamit ko siya ng matagal.
Yeah. Parang nakaka-proud din na I used it to the full.
Nasulit ko yung binayad ko.
That's good to hear.
Diba?
Yeah, I think most people underestimate the power of a simple lifestyle.
That's true.
Right? A lot of people focus on making more money, hustling, but which is totally good, right? And it does help. But at the same time, they underestimate that, hey, if you have a simple lifestyle, number one, you save more.
Mhm.
Number two is in the future when it's time for you to call it quit, you have a smaller expense number compared to the rest of the population.
Okay. What do you think? What do you think is the hindrance na nararanasan sa Philippines with regards to a simple lifestyle? Bakit hindi ba natin mag-grasp yun as a culture? Even if alam naman natin na third world country in Philippines na wala naman tayong mataas na income to really spend on our lifestyle. What are the hindrances to a simple lifestyle in our country?
Well, first of all, we really have population in the Philippines that are living below the poverty line. So in their case, I don't think they're really spending more. It's a matter of them needing help to earn more. But for the middle class, and I don't know what's the reason. I tried to read mga online forums and I joined some financial literacy Facebook. There's this feeling of parang deserve ko to.
Yes.
Perhaps they didn't have it when they were young, or now that they're earning more, they have this feeling of they deserve this. I must reward myself with this item. That's number one. So I guess some part of human nature is there. Second is we live in a more connected world, a digital world where you can see what your friend is buying, or you can see the good life that Daryl and Camille are living in. Where do you go? South America, diba?
South America, yes.
Itong dalawang to, nagta-travel to. Why don't? Parang tell your girlfriend, mag-travel din tayo. Kakaingit naman. Right? And that contributes to a lot of it. Because even me, for example, I have a girlfriend. So my partner, obviously because of COVID, we haven't been out in a while. And she's like, let's travel. Let's do some traveling, like revenge traveling. If before you only travel once or twice a year, now because we haven't traveled once or twice a year because of COVID, we must travel 6 times.
To compensate.
I that. No, I mean, that's an over exaggeration, but um, humans are like that, right?
Yeah.
We're very envious and jealous creatures and very emotional.
Mhm.
And that's the thing about finance. Finance and money is a very emotional game.
Mhm. That's true.
Some people will make a lot, but they'll also lose a lot. Or you'll see people online uh, they invest in scams. They're enticed by the super high return. Right? They'll lend money to friends because no, he's my friend. I must help him, and then hindi na
Mhm.
binabalikan ng pera. So money is a very emotional game. It's not that easy to tell a person na, huy, huwag kang mag-spend or mag-fire ka. It's different from time to time, how you grew up, how you live now, what your experiences, it all affects how we treat our relationship with money.
That is very true. Knowing that money is emotions is always attached with money, how do you think we can go about doing the right thing, the logical thing? For example, for saving for an emergency fund or for a retirement, knowing that there's always emotions with attached with our finances.
You have to be less human, joke lang, not less human. Um, it's kind of like what Warren Buffett preaches, right? When it comes to investing, it's you have to take emotion out of the equation.
Mm.
So the less emotional you can be with you and your money, the more beneficial it is to you. And that's what CIWT or si Rami Sethi teaches, diba?
Mhm.
Automate everything para di mo na pag-isipan. Your money goes where it needs to go.
Okay.
So, you know, but I don't think you can do that in the Philippines. We don't have such automated systems, no.
Like with the banks.
Yeah, especially with the bank or
Mm.
with your investments.
Ah, wala po
Um,
Yeah.
meron ata there's like regular investing, but to put money in there from the bank, it's not automated.
You have to physically log in and transfer the money.
Yeah,
Ayun,
exactly.
maganda sana yun eh. Kasi like with us, kunwari sa sweldo kami ng Thursday, Friday, naka-automatic na lahat yun. Okay, ito yung kunwari, may travel kami, natatanggal na agad yun. Let's say, may car repair, tanggal na agad yun. Parang, tapos pakita
Mm.
sa paycheck mo, wala na.
Wala na natira. Napunta na lahat sa investments.
Naka-automate na lahat. Maganda sana yun.
Kasi nga,
I,
pag
yeah.
yan, sa Philippines, medyo masakit na, okay, isa-set ko every quincenas o katapusan, mag-i-invest ako Teka lang, mag-login lang ako.
Oo
Tapos
nga.
makikita ko, oh, no, ito-transfer ko to sa investment.
Medyo
Parang medyo
hassle.
masakit. Medyo hindrance nga siya.
Yeah.
At saka hindi ganun kadali. So
Mhm.
parang alam mo naman minsan pag ang daming steps, natatamad yung mga tao.
Well, I mean, don't quote me. I think meron automated transfers in banks ngayon. I just need to look at that. I think meron na din, no? But
Mhm.
I think for most people kasi parang some part of it can be automated, but there's also a part na parang, oh, I saw something nice, I wanna buy it. So you start
Dun
pulling away, diba,
Nadali.
your income.
Kasi there will always be a next time. Next time na lang ako mag-invest.
Parang sale kasi ito ngayon. So,
Oo, sayang
I need
naman.
this.
This is a good opportunity for me. Bakit hindi natin gagawin?
Yeah, exactly. Kasi it's like having a budget, right? The budget is supposed to take the emotions out of the game because you have all the numbers there. X% goes to here and what. But most people break the budget.
Mhm.
We
You can't
do.
follow the simple budget because it's hard. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really hard, right? A lot of temptations in the world, a lot of well, the unknown expenses you should be planning for, but a lot of temptations, a lot of madaming luho eh.
Mhm.
And you're constantly bombarded with those. And I receive texts pag sweldo, like from even from financial institutions who you think are supposed to be preaching about financial literacy or whatever.
Mhm.
They will text me, it's now your payday, spend it. And I'm like, what? What?
I've never heard of that. Oh my
Wow!
gosh.
Nag-abal na pa sila i-text ka, no?
So that is it's not only businesses that want you to spend the money, it's the banks. So oh my gosh.
Oo, grabe. Na, pero tama yung sabi ni Jaime, bombarded nga talaga tayo sa lahat. Kasi, paano ka ba namang, paano mananali yung willpower mo not to spend if nakapaligid sa'yo, spend, buy
That's
me,
true.
buy me, buy me.
When you're
Exactly.
Sale.
kung nasa social media ka, lahat
Ganun
ng
din yung
ads,
nakikita mo.
tapos napipredict pa nila kung ano yung pwede gusto mo.
Diba?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing we need to understand. Like, for example, all these businesses, especially in our day and age of data, right? They understand you more than you understand yourself. How do you think they're going? I'm not anti-capitalist or whatnot, but how do you think they're going to maximize their profit?
Mhm.
By maximizing your emotions, keeping you addicted to the app, keeping you addicted to their service, and getting you to kind of spend on it. In the case naman of like social media, no, they don't make you spend on it, right? That's you consuming content, but you at the same time you are kind of the product,
Yes.
farming your attention. and and sad to say that the stuff we see on social media isn't even healthy stuff for us, right? Mentally, emotionally,
Mm.
seeing other people spending, going to nice places, like, oh, I must have that kind of life. So going back to being bombarded, not only are they bombarding you every day, but they are bombarding you in a very effective way because they have understood you and I, and they know how to get the best returns out of you.
Yeah, because they know that emotions is attached to the way you spend, and they have billions of dollars to millions and billions of dollars to spend. Parang wala ka talagang kalaban-laban pag nasa social media ka. Meron nga akong narinig na quote is, if you're not paying for anything or for any service, it means that you're the product. So,
Yeah.
kung nag-login ka sa Facebook, ikaw
Yeah.
actually, kaya hindi nagbabayad kasi ikaw yung binibenta.
Oo, maganda
Oh my
talaga
God.
yung I'm not sure if nabasa mo na yung book ni Cal Newport, Digital Minimalism. Maganda yung book niya about sa mga social media, about sa niruruin niya talaga yung life mo. Kasi sobrang dami ng information. At the end of the day, you don't know what to choose anymore.
Yeah, like what you said.
You're not sure if you're really choosing that or yun lang talaga yung nasuggest sa'yo 100% of the day.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it's not just social media. I mean, being in the digital and the mobile age, even your phone is a source of temptation because but they'll have the push notifications and in-app notifications and SMS. So unless you turn all those off and you leave your phone somewhere far, that's the only way to totally avoid these things. But we can't totally avoid it, right? So it's just, I guess, the best way for me, the best way it has been for me is to understand what others out there are trying to achieve from you, and what are you trying to achieve for yourself. That's how you try to balance it.
That's right.
Because I'm not affected by those things.
Mhm.
So I'm a very how do I say this? I'm very dead ma, right? To all these.
Sometimes may
And,
post din.
yeah, I don't. I get jealous na naman. I'm human, so but I don't get jealous towards the material things. Maybe I'll get jealous towards this person has achieved certain level of success in their career. That's where I experience the emotion of social media. But in terms of he's traveling or he has a nice car, I don't feel too much towards it. So you kind of have to regulate, try to manage your emotions and expectations.
Yeah, that's the key there. You have to regulate it.
Mhm. So, Jaime, how does a financially independent Jaime would look like? Where are you and what are you busy with?
Um, if it comes kasi to fire, actually I can already do that right now. So I
Mhm.
have enough, at least from a network perspective.
Mhm.
If I chose to take it easy, I think the passive income could easily um, pay for my expenses, no.
Yeah.
But I'm aiming for I guess a family lifestyle. So if I have a child, if I'm married, that's what I'm kind of planning for.
Okay. So yeah, it's good to know na parang set ka na pala
Yeah,
if yeah,
congratulations.
congratulations if you take it easy for with your work. That's good.
Meron na siyang, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to focus on with my family.
Nice.
Mag-travel. Like 6 months.
So what recent belief, principle, or a learning that you have acquired that you would like to share with us, and how do you plan to implement that in your life moving forward?
So this is I know this is Fire podcast, no. In
Mhm.
Fire, we preach certain things, right?
Yeah.
Like certain types of investment. So that's my learning over the past couple of years that financial markets are innovating, and there are other places where we can maximize our returns to achieve higher even faster. Right? So I think you know that I invest in cryptocurrency and those things,
Mhm.
and it provides more than the typical returns you would get from the fire teachings.
Mhm.
In fire kasi it's uh, low expense funds, diba? Like your ETFs, your Vanguard. You don't even need to get a fund manager in fire kasi you just track the index naman and invest regularly. In my case, so stock market typically returns what 8 to 10% per year, right?
Yes.
Yes.
In the US. Um, in my case, because I invest like in cryptocurrency, just having that 10 to 12% time deposit, just a time deposit. Um, so it's pretty much capital guaranteed. Uh, It's not backed by any government, but you don't experience any ups and downs. It's
Mhm.
just flat 10% on your money. So those types of investments, they're alternatives to what we're typically taught in the fire movement, but it's helping me, it's helping others achieve financial independence.
With crypto, Jaime, curious lang ako kasi honestly, hindi pa ako nag-invest sa crypto. Parang natatakot kasi ako kasi parang hindi siya, ako,
Para bang
parang may fear
walang
ako.
stability or
Oo.
something. Pero baka kasi hindi lang kami masyadong educated din sa space.
So, paano ba sa crypto? Parang sa stocks din ba yan? Papabayaan mo lang siya lumaki? Or,
Yeah, that's it. It's you do that's what everyone preaches as well. Just do dollar cost averaging in the cryptocurrency market. I mean, it's wild, but you know, so sometimes there are times the price will drop what 70, 80% over the course
Mhm.
of a year or two.
mm,
But if you invest in the financial markets like in the Philippines, big companies also do that too.
Ah, I see.
Uh,
So,
so pag ganun,
there
you can just withdraw anytime you want? Or may penalty
yeah,
ba?
so in yung maganda sa cryptocurrency market is it's very liquid, highly liquid compared to the Philippine financial market, right? In uh, the average daily volume of like even a small cryptocurrency is even bigger sometimes than biggest companies here. So it's highly liquid. That's
okay.
number one. Number two is in terms of volatility. I mean, I'm invested mostly right now in US tech stocks. Parang this is even worse than cryptocurrency. What? the volatility there is wild. So
Yeah.
when it comes to risk and everything, parang this is even less risky because it runs 24/7. If you need your money, you can sell it on the weekend.
Ah,
Okay na.
okay, you don't have to wait for the stock market to open.
Yung mabigat sa stock market is like, example, Facebook recently, diba, dropped about 20% in a single day.
Mhm.
And you had no time to sell kasi on, or I'm not sure how it works in the US market, but on opening pa lang, down na siya 20%. So even if you have stop losses or you want to sell before it reaches that level, you can't because it was already gapped down big one. Whereas in cryptocurrency, because it's highly liquid and it's 24/7, you can avoid those scenarios.
Kumbaga, mamomonitor mo siya 24/7.
Okay
You don't
lang.
need to monitor it, but you have the proper systems and stops in place.
Ah, okay. Kasi may principles ka na na-establish while you're invested in it.
Yeah.
Parang may
But
kinikwento.
if you dollar cost average, you don't need to watch it. That's what most people don't understand. It's 24/7, must watch it every day. It's not true. There are really some long-term investors here na pinapabayaan lang nila buy regularly.
Basically, yeah, just treat it like low-cost index funds. And yeah, dollar cost averaging, eventually, you will buy more on the lows and you will buy some on the highs. Just magra-ride ka lang if the prices
Baka
go up.
kailangan na rin natin yun kasama sa portfolio.
We have to learn more about it.
Oo nga.
Yeah, because I think if you look at the statistics in the US, over 50% of millennials plan to include cryptocurrency in their retirement. It's
No.
an emerging asset class. More millennials and Gen Zs will put more of their investments there. So it's one of the places which will really provide bigger returns the next decade.
Hopefully, it's not too late for us to invest.
We'll learn more about it.
So, I mean, we are always inviting people to live life with intention. What recent purchase of money or time, no matter how crazy or expensive you spent, that brought value or joy to you in the present?
Uh, Very tough question.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Kasi medyo matipid tayo eh.
Oo.
Pwedeng time naman.
Yeah,
Because enough money, but time.
Mm.
I would say it's more of investment in learning, right?
Mm.
For example, again, a part of the cryptocurrency market is what we call NFT,
Mhm.
non-fungible tokens. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard about it, but it's emerging space. Ako kasi, I told myself, na, look, this is going to be, I don't know if it's going to be the future, but it's going to be part of the future, right? And if I want to remain relevant in my career and in life, then I better start learning about these things now. So parang I bought my first NFT 6 months ago. Cost me around 100, 100, no,
Okay.
$300.
$300.
It's now worth zero. So I
Oh.
lost. If you think about it, I lost $300 financial value, but the wealth and knowledge that I've gained since then, much more valuable.
Ah, okay. So it's like parang tuition mo siya into learning
Mm-mm.
the NFT.
Exactly.
Ah.
Kasi you won't learn about it man in school, right?
Yeah. Mm.
Maybe some people will teach you about it, but sabi ko parang, it's relatively small investment. If it loses, then you learn from it, right? So it lost. Obviously, it lost. And I've learned so much since then. Parang profitable na ako. Now even turn to another side hustle.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting because yeah, you're prepared to lose that money just to learn about NFT. Well,
Yeah, I think a lot of people, they don't have that. They kind of don't understand that mindset. Na in life, you must be willing to lose also to gain. You're not going to win 100% of the time, right? Business, career, life, whatever. There's no 100% winner.
That's
You need to be prepared to take some losses, but over time, diba, it's like dollar cost averaging your wins and losses. You win, but generally you win bigger as you keep going along.
no, that's a very good way to spend your time and your money. So yeah, that's a very interesting answer actually. Yeah, so we actually learned so much about about how you practice financial independence, and also how you go about teaching other people how to practice the same principles. The thing that really called my attention with our discussion is the 70-30 principle, where you turn over the typical financial advice, which is 70-20-10, and yeah, it's saving 70% of your income, and just spending 30% by not inflating your lifestyle. Yeah,
It's very important to keep a simple lifestyle if you're really planning. Or, sabi nga ni Ramseti, pwede naman na, malaki pa rin yung lifestyle mo, but you have to keep on earning more.
Yeah.
Or being more smart. Pero I guess, gusto ko yung nabanggit mo na money is really an emotional game. So, marami mga nakapaligid sa atin, marami mga possible tayong ma-encounter, but at the end of the day, ano ba talaga yung mga goals mo in life? Are they really aligned sa mga ginagastos mo ngayon? And sa mga, mag-iipon ka ba talaga for your family? Like with him, he wants to spend more time ngayon sa girlfriend niya, sa future family niya, and having enough money to do that, if he decided to, is really, I guess, a freedom.
Yes. That's the freedom that you earn from that money. Yeah. So if listeners want to get in touch with you, can they do so? And if yes, where and how can they find you?
Yes, they can get in touch with me. They can find me on LinkedIn or my YouTube channel. You can send messages to there.
Okay, yeah, we'll put that in the links. Yes. So before we end the show, do you have any suggestions or ask of our listeners who are actually on the fence or about to approach their financial independence?
Before you start, look for the right reasons. So know yourself first before you go in. I think that's a big help in life. So you need to have the why, strong why, right? Why am I doing this? It's not an easy journey, but if your why makes you cry, then that's a beautiful way to live.
Very well said. Thank you so much for joining us and chatting with us, Jaime.
We really appreciate your time. Thank you, Jaime.
Thank you as well, and hope to talk to you again next time or see you around the fire movement.
Yeah.
I guess I would love to talk more to you about sa crypto and investing sa mga NFT. Makapagpa-coaching din kami.
Sure.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.